the EU is trying to, quote, hide responsibilities behind Greece. For an instant audit on this, let's go bring back Matt McCall of Penn Financial Group, and also still with us, financial analyst Uri Man. Uri, I'd send this one to you first. Are we to believe what the Greek Prime Minister has to say? He's putting a lot of the blame on some of the other European nations.
Well, he certainly wants to support. Sandra, have you ever been to Greece?
I have not. Matt's talking about how beautiful it is here, so.
I've loved vacationing there. I've been there twice, and I want to go again this summer. But I got to tell you, the Greek government really has put their people in a bind. They have been spending well more than they're receiving in tax revenue. It's basically a socialist-run economy. And, you know, I hope Obama is listening and watching and seeing what's going on in Greece, because, you know, they've been totally irresponsible in the way they've run the country, and now they want Europe to bail them out. And the problem here, in terms of what's going on in the markets, if you remember back in 1998 when Russia had to refinance its debt, they only had $50 billion in debt. You know, Greece has $250 billion. And even though it's only 3% of the European total GDP, this is a real situation, because we've got other countries that are being run similarly poorly in terms of spending more than they can receive in tax revenue. Not that the U.S. can say that we're doing such a great job here, but you know, basically Portugal, Spain, all these, you know, these other countries that could end up needing a bailout as well. All of this is creating a tremendous amount of uncertainty, and the stock market doesn't react well with uncertainty. And we're going to see continued downward pressure. So, you know, it's a poor situation. But I hope, you know, at least we learn some lessons from what's going on in Greece. All
right, Uri, and I've got my other Greek traveler over here, Matt, just saying during the break, have you ever been to Greece? It's so beautiful. The food's amazing. Other than that, do you think that that maybe the Greek Prime Minister has a point in saying that they're taking the brunt of a lot of the blame? The finger pointing is going towards them, even though the rest of Europe has problems as well.
He does have a point, I believe. I mean, they're just the first to really blow up. You know, I think Spain, Portugal, as Uri mentioned, are down the line. So they're the first, so they're putting all the pressure on them. But I think it's good that they're putting pressure on Greece, not only in the light that it hopefully will wake up Spain, Portugal, and the other pigs, but it also wakes up the United States and realizes that this is what could happen down the road if we continue to spend. And a lot of people in chat over the last half hour are talking about spending. You know, we just continue to spend money we do not have. And it's pretty simple math. You know, the government tells us in the recessionary times to save money, do not spend as much. Well, why don't they heed their own advice and not spend, when we don't have the money?
So is that what this is all about right now, and the reason we continue to see such volatility in our markets? The worry, the concern that the Greek problem could soon be the problem of the United States?
Yes, it's not Greece. It could be any country. You can pick any country really in the world, and the fact that they're blowing up and they're spending too much, it just brings to light that all economies are doing the same thing. But keep in mind, they had to do this to get out of the recession we're in. So you had to have a little bit more spending, but you also have to pull it back. And we do not see any of these countries pulling it back. The stimulus continues to go.
And Uri, sometimes the market reacts so positively when all of a sudden there's huge speculation that Greece will get a bailout. But that bailout would come at the cost of some of the other stronger European nations. Wouldn't that be the next concern then? Would that really relieve all the worries out there?
You know, you make a great point there, because the reality here is that we're not in a normal type of recovery. This has been a different recession in the sense that it's not been about inventory management. Normally in a regular recession, you have inventory levels reaching such high levels that everyone starts cutting prices, competing with each other. They have to lay off workers to be competitive. Then suddenly there's a rebound when people have access to credit and they start spending. But the reality is today, that because consumer debt is being slashed, we had $1.6 trillion of consumer credit taken out of the system over the last year. It's an unprecedented situation because consumers don't have access to credit. Companies don't have access to credit. So how can we talk about a recovery when there's so many negative issues out there? Europe is one of them. What about the fact that there's a very good chance that we'll have to attack Iran this year? What about the fact that we have continued unemployment? And the chances of people buying homes, is not increasing any significantly at all. So the the underlying issue here is quite negative. And even if we get some positive news, it's going to be short-lived, in my opinion.
All right. All right.
That's a good way to go in the weekend. Now I'm negative. Now,
Look what you did.
Thanks, Jerry.
Sorry.
Look what you did to Matt. Well,
Sorry about that.
We have to leave it there, guys, but I know that we're watching the chat, and there's a lot of comparisons being made to what's happening in Greece to what's happening in California, I understand. So,
let them both go.
Oh, wow. Mr. Negative over here. All right, turning now to the .com Live agenda. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, we'll get the monthly retail sales report. We're awaiting that just any minute now. The report was supposed to be out yesterday, but like so many other reports, federal offices were